Football's back. Dun, 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 dun. Is that song the Christmas song? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Giddy up, let's go. Let's look at the show.
Land of snow. I think it is. The one team played the other team. Saints versus the Bengals. What was it? Chiefs versus the Texans. I actually don't care about football at all. I don't watch it. I don't believe in fantasy football. I think that's like, I don't want to say satanic. It's satanic adjacent for sure. Like have like a fantasy draft about these football players. It sounds disgusting. I don't care about football at all. If it wasn't for politics, I would think Colin Kaepernick was like the name of some Irish step dancer. Colin Kaepernick. Oh, quite the moves on that young man, Colin Kaepernick. That's what I would think it was. But because of politics, I have to kind of pay attention. So I watched football last night. I know you probably didn't. There was some good action. They're trying to end racism this year again, which is good. The Texans didn't come out for the national anthem. The Chiefs did. Everyone on the Chiefs stood for the anthem except for one guy. There's some moments of unity, but there was also booing, and now everyone is getting roasted for booing the moment of unity. I think the fans were booing that the Texans stayed in. Like, you're literally the Texans, which was like so soft. Remember in football when you used to talk shit and call people and say, you, I'm going to face off, I'm going to on your that, like horrible stuff. And you just say terrible things and talk and after everyone's cool. Like, we don't do that anymore. Now it's like a moment of unity and people are hanging out on the bench during the game and everyone's happy. You got to put your mask on. It's getting real dark out there. Were they booing the moment of unity? I don't know. Maybe. Would I? I don't know. I think at least they didn't burn the stadium down. Let's go through some of the reactions on Twitter because this is a show where we talk about tweets. The Missouri fans, what is it? Kansas City, Missouri, the Chiefs. Yeah. The Chiefs fans, there's only a few thousand of them because they were at 20% capacity because they didn't want them to catch the coronavirus. This Josh Molina says they're not booing, they're yelling, "We're racist." It's like, oh, Josh. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for clearing that up for us. Oh, Josh, why can't you just run this thing? Look at these racists, right, guys? Oh, Josh, what would we do without you? Booing a moment of silence for equality is the trashiest I've ever heard. Oh, thanks, Nick. Next. It's like if they were racist, wouldn't they not pay a ticket price to go watch black people and white people? Right? Like, wouldn't they be like, no? Like, wouldn't it be the opposite if they were racist? And it's like, you're just going to call like 20,000 people racist? It's like, that's nuts. So it's like your side thinks that anyone who opposes the idea is racist. And you're basically saying end racism. That's the message on the field. It's like, who doesn't want to end racism? Who is for racism? And they have the end racism on the field as if that's going to do anything. And then if you boo, you're against them. That means you're for racism. And it's like, no, we're actually against Black Lives Matter because it's becoming like this rioting, looting terrorist organization that we don't like. And it's actually doing more bad than good. And it's not what they say it is. And now it's like, are you for or against that? Oh, we're against that. Okay, that means you're the racist. It's like, no, that's like a huge leap to go from against BLM to for racist. I'm not for racism. I'm against Marxist communists who are trying to power grab everything and every aspect of our lives. It's not hard to figure out that's what's going on. I'm not for BLM because they give Nana double middle fingers and they harass people at the restaurant and they stop cars on the road and they attack people for no reason and they're a crazy mob. And it's chaotic. That's why I don't like BLM. Not because I don't like black people, but that's why BLM is worded that way. It's called BLM, Black Lives Matter. So if you're against Black Lives Matter, you don't think Black Lives Matter. It's like a Chinese finger trap. No offense to the Asians. And then, like, you know, the sign of unity. Oh, they're booing the sign of unity. What's unity? Unity what? Unified around BLM? Oh. Well, then I don't want it. But now that makes us the racist. And it's like, if we get painted the racist, then we're disqualified from a debate and our ideas are disqualified. So the goal isn't to have our ideas heard and to actually have an exchange. The goal is to just disqualify us based on our characteristics as a racist or a Nazi. We don't have debates with Nazis. Now they don't have to hear our ideas. And it's like their way of like keeping us one layer removed and using their cognitive dissonance and just like staying in their chambers. We don't entertain Nazi ideas. We don't entertain fascists. It's like, Yeah, out of nowhere in 2020, everyone became a racist fascist. Where was this 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Where did they come from? And if you point them out, and I think if you did point them out and there was an actual racist, Nazi, fascist problem in this country, the people that you're against now would actually be the ones who go solve that problem. So it's like everything is so backwards. By bending the knee to the mob, you think you're gaining, I don't know, good boy points, but in reality, you're just like pissing off your base and trying to like appease a group that wants nothing to do with you. Charlotte Clymer doesn't watch the NFL. I'm just guessing, but I don't think I'm wrong, which is fine. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want, Charlotte Clymer. I don't care. But just don't tell me I'm racist if I don't like BLM. And they're calling the Chiefs fans trash. Go to an Oakland Raiders game. I know enough about football to know that. Go to an Oakland Raiders game. There you find some trash. No offense, Raider Nation, but you know you're trash. Rich Rapway, who these days is against equality? It's like, I don't hey, if you're against equality, let me know in the comments. I don't think it's as many people as the left thinks, to be honest. So let me know. If you're against equality, leave a comment. We'll pin it. Let us know what equality you are not for. And maybe we'll hear it out. Everyone, for the most part, 99.999 whatever percent of people are for equality. But it's like if you think that you have to fight for equality, then you think that you're not on an equal playing field as everyone else, and it almost puts you in a perpetual victim mindset where it's like if you think I can succeed, I can do whatever I want, every time you fail, you'll find another way to do it, and you'll adapt, and you'll improvise, and you'll figure it out. But if you think things are not equal, things are against me, now when you fail, you'll say, oh, it's because I was a woman, it's because I'm trans, because I'm a lesbian. And then that becomes an excuse. And instead of working and improvising and adjusting and strategizing and being successful over time after many failures, you'll just fail a couple times, blame the system, become disenfranchised, become upset, become a victim, fail, and then your own failures becomes proof. And then now you're so impassioned and you want to just go save the world and whatever. And it's just like, just go back to the drawing board. Your boss probably isn't racist. He probably didn't fire you because you're black. Sorry, I don't know. Just keep going. Stop doing not that. Look at, what's the coach's name for the Chiefs? Andy Reid has got some nutty professor going on with that face mask all fogged up. Andy Reid, that happens to me too, believe it or not, when I wear my glasses and a mask here in Florida. It's a little humid out, and I get some nutty professor-ish happening to me too.
I couldn't find anything on Nutty Professor with him having fogged up glasses.
So I was like pretty positive that Nutty Professor had a moment where he had like fogged up glasses, but my friend Julian one time told me a story about how he was like on a date. I think he was like going for like a first kiss, and then his glasses fogged up, and he said, I was on some Nutty Professor shit. So I just assumed maybe it was Norbit. Who's surprised by these fans who were booing? It was never about the national anthem. It was never about respect for the flag. It was always about sheer discomfort over any personal accountability a fan might be motivated to consider. Okay, what? It was always about sheer discomfort over any personal accountability a fan might be motivated to consider regarding their role in systematic racism. A little wordy there, Charlotte. Motivated to consider maybe throw a comma in there. I don't know. I didn't go to class. I keep saying systematic. It's systemic. I'm a Muppet. How dare you? How dare you, Dad? Bring your kids here because you hate black people and you want to yell. Try to have a nice night out, get a beer, buy the kids some food, wait in line. It's raining. It's cold. Coronavirus 2020. Everyone's mad. You trying to just go have one night out with your kid, enjoy yourself, bond, do something fun that you used to do. And then now you have to explain why the millionaires, the black millionaires on the field are oppressed because racism and it's the kids' fault because white? Nah, that's a no for me, dog. Why not protest Nike? Nike does a lot of slave labor today. There's real slaves at Nike now. They make the socks and the shoes and the visor and the jersey. That's made by slaves now. You'd think people would talk about that. Take a knee for that. They don't care about that. It's weird how they can pick and choose. It's almost as if their ideology isn't supposed to add up. That would make the football players useful idiots. There is a saying, go woke, go broke. And there is that saying for a reason. And the NFL, especially with the players within the NFL, we saw it kind of happen in the last few months with Brian Urlacher and with Drew Brees. Drew Brees, let's just go through. One former player, one current player. Brian Urlacher's a Hall of Famer, absolute Chad. Drew Brees was kind of similar, but now he's a
Beta male.
He's a beta.
Beta.
Drew Brees a few weeks ago came out saying that he'll never disrespect the flag. The quote was, "I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country." That was the original stance, and it was pretty well received by the MAGA people. And then he completely backpedaled once he got some flack. He got all these, like, his old teammates coming out. You're a coward. You're the damn problem. You're in the locker room with nothing but black men. For you to sit here and think it was about a fucking flag. A flag don't give a shit about the black community. Nice, Antonio Cromartie. How are your 14 kids? Literally 14 kids with 8 women. It's whatever. It's just not how I like to live. The reason my children have to live in a world, I don't even want to read that one. One of my brothers made a public statement yesterday that I disagreed with. He apologized, and I accept it because that's what we're taught to do as Christians. He's got to apologize for having an opinion, and it's not like the opinion's that crazy. The opinion is you should respect the anthem. I think half the country more has that opinion. But that's like the treatment you get. Nice. And we're the intolerant ones who are incapable of having conversation. Everyone's just so mad. You can't have an opinion. This is one of my favorites. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but this ain't it. Does it seemingly denounce the focal point of what is intended in kneeling for? Yes. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but this ain't it. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, just not that one. You can't have that one. But any other opinion's fine. Just the BLM or that's it. So which one do you want? My children have to live in a world that won't empathize with their pain is because people like you are raising your children to perpetuate the cycle. Drew, you are the problem. Do you know how many like good things Drew Brees has probably done, like charity-wise? Millions of dollars, all the good things, New Orleans, and it's Drew, you are the problem. And Drew is the problem because he backtracked. That was the biggest thing. And all these people come out and they're mad at Drew Brees. He's the problem. He's racist. He's perpetuating racism. He's raising racists. So what does he do? He posts a picture from Google. I think he Googled black and white hand shaking. We'll have to check that. I think that might be what happened. He may have bought some sort of Getty image and then used that and then wrote as the caption, "I would like to apologize to my friends, teammates in the city of New Orleans, the black community, NFL community," and he didn't put an Oxford comma in there. So then everyone got mad on Twitter. The people burned his jerseys as if. But it's like what he doesn't realize is if he had doubled down and said, "No, I'll never kneel for the anthem. I'll always support the flag. I'll always support the country and the troops," his jersey sales would have skyrocketed. And the people that liked him would have liked him through the hard part. But instead, he buckled to the mob for people that weren't going to like him either way. He came out and apologized and did all this weird stuff. And no one was like, "Okay, you're back in. We like you now." They still hate him. And then they dislocated half of his base probably who now doesn't like him and resents him for doing that. So all it actually does is lower your fan base, take away your fans, your loyal fans that liked you. They're disappointed in you. You gain no new fans. And you just kind of like are on your way to hated. But Brian Urlacher, on the other hand, handled it a little differently. He came out and said on Instagram, I believe he got this from DC Drano, Brett Favre played a Monday Night Football game the day his dad died, threw 4 touchdowns in the first half, and was a legend for playing in the face of adversity. NBA players boycott the playoffs because a dude reaching for a knife wanted on a felony sexual assault warrant was shot by police. So Urlacher came out and said that. Woke Urlacher, very based, very woke. Chad Alpha Chad. Literally Urlacher. You're literally Brian Urlacher. He's like 6.5 feet tall. Yeah. Absolute Chad. He likes Trump. It looks like he met Trump. Yeah, respects the office at least. Love that out of Urlacher. And then everyone started coming for Urlacher, saying he's ignorant, he doesn't know what he's saying. Here's a headline. Brian Urlacher's disturbing social media behavior was rightfully condemned by the Chicago Bears. Can you editorialize a little more, Ricky O'Donnell? Can you editorialize that anymore? Brian Urlacher's disturbing social media behavior was rightfully condemned by the Chicago Bears. Oh, rightfully condemned. What kind of headline is that? That's like the 2020th headline I've ever seen. Good luck. Go tell it to him. Go say it to his face, Ricky O'Donnell. And then this Matt Forte goes, the comment Brian Urlacher posted is void of empathy, compassion, wisdom, and coherence, but full of pride and ignorance. I pray for those who have been blinded by their wealth, privilege, and earthly fame that breeds arrogance in their hearts, and those who refuse to. Continued. We're not going to continue. No, it's not that, Matt Forte. It's actually NBA players boycott the playoffs because a dude reaching for a knife wanted on a felony sexual assault warrant was shot by police. It's not all the other stuff he said about Brian Urlacher personally. It's about NBA players boycotting the playoffs because a dude reaching for a knife wanted on a felony sexual assault warrant was shot by police. It's not about the Brian Urlacher stuff or who you think he is personally. It's about that. He attacked Brian Urlacher for being rich. I'm sure Brian Urlacher probably has some blue-collar background where he just like absolutely chatted his way to the Bears. And now I'm sure it has some sort of like empire he's building in Chicago as like a local hero. That's me guessing.
Yep.
Rat Boy says yes. Rat Boy's from Chicago.
Single mom. Like man of the house.
Man of the house at a young age. Absolute Chad. He played ball and then got his hair back. When do you ever hear about that? When does that ever happen?
Never. He's a hair restoration company now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Does he have steaks?
Steaks?
Does he have like Urlacher steaks?
No. Coming soon.
Coming soon. Urlacher. We got an idea. We got an idea for you. So Urlacher doubles down. He doesn't delete the post. He just leaves it up. He does his Urlacher thing. He's absolute Chad. And you know what happened? Nothing. His base likes him more. So he has like an actual base, an actual fan base. He takes his stance. They like him more. He doubles down and resists the Marxist mob. They like him even more. The haters he had grew as well, but that doesn't matter because haters don't do anything for you. So they're not going to buy his jersey. They're not going to go to his games. They don't care. So what is a hater worth? Nothing. So he grew his support, grew his haters as well, but it doesn't matter. Your support grew. That's all that matters. Drew Brees went against his fan base. He lost fans, and he grew haters, and then he apologized, backtracked, all that stuff, and he gained even more haters because they don't unhate you. They still hate you. They always will, and he lost even more fans. It's the last thing you want to do is apologize to the mob. We saw that with Alejandro Villanueva guy on the Steelers like 3 years ago. He came out during the national anthem when everyone else was in the locker room, and he stood there, and what happened right after? He didn't apologize, and everyone went and bought his jersey, and it was the number one jersey sale for like a long time. I don't know, a week. It's pretty good. He's a lineman. No one buys lineman jerseys. So there it is. Those are kind of like the two ways to go about it. You go woke, you go broke. I think you just stay firm in your beliefs and you double down and you ride it out. The love you receive from the right and patriots and people that like the country will always outweigh the hate from the left. The hate from the left is just empty air. They'll get you. They'll yell at you. They'll tweet at you. But like, what do Twitter replies do to Brian Urlacher? Oh, like he has a family, he has money, he has a house. What is like people in like a dude in a dress being mean to Urlacher on Twitter do? Nothing. Urlacher's going fishing next week. Drew Brees supports the troops. He supports the flag. He stands for it. He supports the country. Unless people get really mad at him for that, because then he'll say, "Oh, sorry, am I good boy now? Sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to have opinions." Drew Brees does his apology, and then he goes from "I will never disrespect the country or the flag" to a few weeks later playing his practice with the name of an accused rapist on his helmet, Jacob Blake, across his helmet. Nice, dude. Nice. You're a good boy now. Drew Brees is a good boy now, guys. Look how much of a good boy Drew Brees is. What does being a good boy get you?
I'd like to spend my 50.
Nothing. It actually takes your soul. Being a good boy. Stop. Well, that's all the clips. That's all the action from last night, opening night for NFL. It's probably going to be a season. I think if they go down the BLM route, the fans are a little watch less. One thing's for sure, never battle the mob, never apologize. Never apologize. When does apologizing ever work out and people going, you're forgiven? I guess maybe for Harvey Weinstein or something. And it's also like, what are we apologizing for? An opinion? People are apologizing for opinions. So it's like, even if you do apologize, people are going to know you thought that or are only apologizing because the fact that you thought that got out. And that's not conducive to like a culture I want to be a part of. That doesn't trend in an upward positive direction, in my opinion. That takes you down into some sort of tear down cancel culture society. So to avoid cancel culture, stop watching the NFL. It's Marxist now. BLM ruined it. LeBron sucks. Colin Kaepernick sucks. He's in the video game. We didn't talk about that. All right, that's pretty much all the clips. I think we did a good job today. We covered some of the good opening action from the NFL last night. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Shop Fleccas.com for the best merch in the game. And also, if you like my shirt, DE-FEND Police. Check this shirt out. Pretty fresh. It's a 2X. Fits a little snugger than I thought, but that's my problem. This is a DE-FEND Police shirt. All proceeds, all profits from shirt sales go to the families of fallen and wounded law enforcement officers. It's a fantastic organization. I'm not getting paid to do this. This is not an ad placement. This is just a friend of mine running a fantastic organization that I think is a really good cause and needs some more attention. DE-FEND Police. I think the time is kind of now to step up and defend the police. It's like $20. It's a fantastic shirt. All the profits go to such a good cause. Very worth it. Please get yours today. Link is in the bio, theydefendus.com. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the next one. 100. You know how people say Black Lives Matter, then other people say all lives matter, Richard? Yeah. What about pedophiles? Do pedophiles fall under all lives matter? So I think if we say all lives matter going forward, if people are like Black Lives Matter and you want to say all lives matter back, it's not something I necessarily do, but I think if people do, you should maybe add except for pedophiles. So you go all lives matter except for pedophiles.
You could say it quietly.
And then if they disagree or get mad, be like, why do you like pedophiles so much? That's actually pretty good. It's like the Chinese finger trap back at it's our version. All right, we got one, guys. We got one. Okay, let's do it, actually.
Okay.
I'm ready, buddy. I'm feeling great. We're ripping.
The Texans didn't come out.
I thought this episode was going to suck because football is so boring. Rap Boy, can you make a picture of KKK people in the stands?
Yeah.
That could be like the thumbnail. And we'll call it like racist fans boo black players or more nothing from dumb news again.